Hey there everybody, Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of our What's Hot show. We've got a quick one for you here today. Just a couple new releases, a reissue, and of course a forgotten favorite from the past. So we're going to start off with the brand new release from a band from Sweden. This is their second album. It follows up their self-titled debut from 2015. I'm talking about Lucifer, titled Lucifer 2. Of course, this band came kind of formed out of the ashes of The Oath, a very fine kind of classic metal sounding band. So here for this band Lucifer, I'm going to forget her name. What is Johanna Sadanis, okay, is actually the singer. That's her right there. Lovely lady. She's got a great voice. Originally this band also contained the mighty and mercurial guitar skills of ex-Cathedral legend Gaz Jennings. So he was on the debut album. He does not appear on this particular album. He has been replaced, by Nicky Anderson, who's actually the drummer from Entombed, but he helps out also on guitar on this album as well, alongside, who is the lead guitarist here? Lead guitarist is Robin Tidebrink. He plays lead guitars on the album. So you got two guitar players and drummer, okay, as well as I'm not sure who's playing bass. Nicky also handles the bass on this album, so get all my facts straight here. So if you've never listened to Lucifer, what are they all about? So they are a really, really cool, very, I'm going to say old school metal, old school hard rock kind of hybrid. Sort of doomy-ish, a little bit in spots, but more think of a kind of very metallic brand of bluesy classic hard rock. Her vocals are outstanding. The riffs are great. And there's a couple tunes on here that are just so damn catchy. I mean, seriously, there's parts of this album that, given the right type of promotion and given some exposure, I think a lot of people would really dig. I mean, the song Dreamer is just hauntingly gorgeous and yet rocking at the same time. Phoenix is a killer song. California Sun is great. Before the Sun, Eyes in the Sky. Oh, what else we got here? Reaper on Your Heels. They do a very, very cool remake or cover of the Rolling Stones' Dancing with Mr. D song. So much so that you'll hear it when you listen to this album. When I listened to this album the first time, I had no idea. I didn't really look at the track list, and I had no idea they were doing a cover on here. And I'm listening to the song. I'm like, hey, I know this tune. Wait a second. This is a Stones tune. And I looked at it. I'm like, holy shit. Very well done. They add their own stamp to it, which is great. If you watch my covers and tribute album show recently, my rant, you know I really like when a band takes like a classic tune or even one that's maybe not so classic and they kind of give it their own spin, so much so that their originality really kind of seeps through. That's what I like about this tune. So, and the way they do it. So anyway, a really, really good album. I miss a little bit of those thunderous Jennings riffs from the first album. Because, let's see, the guy's a legend for a reason. I mean, if you ever listen to those classic Cathedral albums, man, that guy could crank out some heavy riffs, boy. Whew. So, kind of miss him a little bit on here. So the guitar work is not quite as thunderous, but the riffs are still very inventive, very great to listen to. And they rock damn hard, so don't get me wrong there. But anyway, a great, great second album from these guys. No sophomore slump here, folks. Check it out, Lucifer 2. All right, we're going to totally switch gears. Going to go more come back to the U.S., out from California. This is a band been around for a few years, not metal at all, kind of more in the roots rock, kind of have a southern rock kind of feel. Think bits of the Allman Brothers, maybe some Blackberry Smoke. Okay, maybe a much more rocking and obviously not country Zac Brown type of thing. Really good band. Jon the Wreck. This is their self-titled release. I believe this came out in late 2017. Recently just put out on CD. Really cool tunes. A lot of hummable, catchy stuff. These guys can play too. Smoking lead guitar work. Great keyboards, like organ and synths. Really grooves all over the place on here. I mean, amazing grooves. A couple tunes. The song "Old Friend" should be a hit single. I'm sorry, no other way to say that. A great song. There's a long instrumental on here called "Witchcraft" that you would swear is like you're hearing the Allman Brothers, slide guitars, and it's just all great stuff. I really dig this a lot. I'm so glad I got my hands on this. Robert, Jon, and the Wreck, great vocals, great musicianship, great songs. That's what it's all about, right? Regardless of what the genre is, gotta have great songs. All right, go on to the reissue front. Our friends over at Angel Air Records have re-released this 1980 release from guitar legend Roy Buchanan. It's called My Babe. Of course, he's looking at his babe over there, his trusty Telecaster. We all know that Roy left us way too soon in the late 80s, 87, 88, something like that. He took his own life. But a great player, a much in-demand player over the years. Kind of did bits of blues and rock and jazz and soul and all sorts of stuff. And this is one of his later albums. Probably not anything mandatory listening or essential listening as far as Roy Buchanan goes, but some solid material on here. It's kind of a weird mix of like funky soul and R&B and blues, a little bits of rock, a little bits of jazz. There's a couple instrumentals on here which are really good, and a couple of the tunes kind of rock, you know, some tasty guitar work, vocals. It's decent. Not an essential Roy Buchanan album, but noteworthy for half the material on it's pretty damn good. The other is okay. So if you're a Roy Buchanan fan, never heard this album, I encourage you to check it out. Or if maybe it's an album you always wanted to get but just never had the opportunity to because it might have been out of print for a while, it's now back in print thanks to Angel Air Records. So investigate that one. Okay, forgotten favorites. Here's something I just got a hold of recently. So I guess it kind of doesn't qualify as forgotten favorites, but it's a obscure release in the heavy rock realm from the 70s, which I think a lot of you might be interested in. It's a band called Head Over Heels. They were from Michigan. Self-titled album. Pretty bruising stuff on here. There's 8 tracks. A couple of them are live. It's a trio, power trio, blistering lead guitar. Very good vocals. Kind of hard to say. Kind of imagine a less soulful Humble Pie, more in that power trio style. Very guitar heavy, a little more bluesy than say Mountain. Okay, maybe not quite as heavy as some of Mountain's heavier stuff, but pretty raucous. I like the energy of these guys. Some really good rockin' tunes on here. Roadrunner, Night Away, Children of the Mist, Question is a great tune and a great hook. I like sometimes when you hear some of these like rare albums by rare bands that were never signed to a label or anything, and you hear like one of the songs and you're like, holy cow, that's got a great chorus and a great hook. That could have been a possible radio hit. We'll never know, will we? So anyway, good stuff. I'm glad I kind of stumbled upon this. This is one of those things that, like, you ever go on to like YouTube or Amazon and you're kind of like searching for stuff and all of a sudden you see your recommendations and you're like, oh, I never heard of that band. You click on that. This happened on YouTube. Click on that. You hear a song. You're like, I never heard of this band. This is a great tune. How do I get a hold of this now? That's kind of what happened with this. It does happen. So my forgotten favorite today, it's forgotten probably because nobody knows about this band or this release, but I urge you to check it out on CD. Head Over Heels, self-titled. I don't remember the exact year this came out in. 71? 71, I think. Yeah, 19. So it's pretty damn old. So anyway, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on the mighty YouTube. Check in soon. We've got a lot of stuff that I'm going to be covering. I mean, if you guys could see the list of shows that I plan on doing, it's ridiculous. And getting a lot of cool requests. In fact, I had a couple requests from a few of you to show my equipment, guitar equipment, and guitars and amps and effects and all that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of a collector and a hack. I've been playing for most of, a good chunk of my life, but I don't play professionally or record anything like that, but I do it for fun. But I do have some kind of cool equipment. So I'm going to do that as well, but I also got some rants coming up. I have getting a lot of requests for band retrospectives. So all sorts of stuff. A couple of you want to see a Hawkwind retrospective. I still want to get back and do one on Yes. We got the Priest one coming up. Gillen, I've been asked. Grand Funk, all sorts of stuff. Kansas, someone asked for. Got another rant that my buddy Chris Allen and I are thinking about doing called Concert Regrets. So basically, bands that you missed out on because of a certain reason, or specific concerts you missed out on because of a certain reason, and now you regret it, or a band that you maybe blew off and didn't really care about back in the day, but maybe they retired or all the members died, and now you're really into them and you regret not going to see them. That sort of thing. We're going to do that. That's another rant we got coming up. I am also going to do, and I'm really excited about this one, I am going to do my top jazz fusion albums of the 70s. That is going to be a fun show. I am like licking my chops getting ready to do that. So if you are a fan of Return to Forever and Mahavishnu Orchestra and Lifetime and Weather Report and Miles Davis and Brand X and Iceberg and there's a million of them, right? I'm going to do a show of my top picks, top albums of the jazz fusion genre from the 70s. So be on the lookout for that. That might be coming up this week. So till then, like I said, visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. Make sure you tell your friends here, subscribe, and lots of video content coming your way. See you next time.